Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the video from the Demon Overlord. Now today I'm going to be going over some miniatures and recent finished projects, or like paint jobs. So today we're going to start off with some Wildspire miniatures. We'll have 3 of those, then we're going to get to the recent Etsy person I purchased from and whether I recommend it to you or not. First up here we have my little Dire Badger. Simple, clean, to the point, and you know what, an interesting animal. Nothing's more interesting than a little badger that burrows out of the ground and attacks your party wearing armor. Maybe he's a mount for your gnome. Maybe he's being used by dwarves as a sign of early attack dog. But you know what? He's interesting, he's unique, and it gives some more love to the badger. A simple creature I haven't seen many miniatures of since the Dire Badger, or the Celestial Badger, from Hasbro's days of WizKid miniatures. Here we go with another miniature. This is the Saddleback Lizard, or I like to call him the Pack Lizard because he's kind of like a pack rat. He has this lovely red top with a lovely green underside, a nice flocked base on the sides, look like he's looking down a path, or walking down a path with a merchant or someone controlling it. And as you can see, he's got some nice big old spats on his back to carry all the goods and inventory, as well as he's got some nice big sacks to carry your gold, gems, or any small little knickknacks you don't want to lose. He also happens to be armor plated, as he's got some armor bands on his backside, tail, and goes down all the way to the back from the neck. He also has a lovely little horn on top of his head to probably help defend himself from any attacking predators. In a world full of fantastical creatures, that could be a griffin to an ogre to something like that. If they happen to go over his tail, I like to think he has the ability to have it pop off, and they can eat that while he escapes, giving him assistance in fleeing. A very nice creature. And a unique thing that maybe your party wants to pick up. Maybe the group wants to, purchase one of these guys from a vendor in a city because they need something to carry the inventory stuff they just can't hold. It makes travel easier sometimes too when you don't have to carry all the heavy battle axes up. You can just put him on the old Pack Lizard and see him carry your stuff, and just make sure you don't lose him. Nothing's worse than losing all your stuff. Here we have the Lupine Female, and that's what I'm calling it. I know in the thing they call it like I think a wolfkin, but I would call this a lupin, as that is a creature race in Dungeons & Dragons of older games. And you know what? She has a very unique sculpt. I love the bone shoulder plate she's got rocking, as well as she's carrying the head of a severed from a devil or demon. And she also has a fireball that I painted blue for just a unique color choice and a purple accent to it. She also happens to have an eye patch over her eye and a lovely sort of bronze star that I designed on her chest for her clothes clip, I think. I think it holds the clothing together well. She also has like a little band strap for her lower, skirt. Not really sure what it would be, but she looks great overall, and she looks cool. She's got a lovely bit of flair, and she's got some nice presence when she's carrying the head of a devil or demon your party might have to respect. So very nice, and a nice miniature. And WizKids, if you're watching, get Wizards to let you make some lupins and bring them back as a playable race. They were such a good race from their lore and all that stuff. Bring them back. And now we get into the miniatures from my Etsy seller. This is from an Etsy seller known as Fobender 3D, and this is one of the models he sells called the Vice Knight. And I gave him a very simple paint job, and I'm not at all regretting it. He looks cool, and I think he makes the paint job, look amazing because of his details. He's got a lovely iron body with some nice plate mail all over, and it is gunmetal if you go by Army Painter standards. And he also has a just simple green skin cape with strong tone to give it a nice sort of darkened cape look. Even the little helmet tail he's got on there looks really cool. I love that he's carrying a polearm and a big shield. You could use him as a paladin for a king or something like that, or even just a fighter knight who protects his lord, being whether it's a nobleman or possibly like a relative. You never know. He could be an interesting high-level opponent for your party to face, stronger than the guards, but still possibly defeatable if your party plays it right. Or even animated armor if you want something unique and something that doesn't really have many miniatures to represent it. Moving on to the next bad boy you could throw against your party, we have a Gnoll. Now, I think he just had it as a Gnoll, and this was just the type style, but I like to call this guy the champion of Yanogu. That's right, this Gnoll's been given a nice caressment from Yenogu. That's why the blood on the left side of the face, giving him more power and authority in the Gnoll troop, as well as making him probably the new leader, even if there are Lacrutas leading the charge. This guy, I think, is going to be the new boss, as he happens to be more powerful, glowing eyes of Yenogu's wrath and rage. And on top of that, he carries 3 heads on his chest with no issue, just for the sign of how savage and brutal the Gnoll species are. And he has blood all over his shield and sword, a sign that this guy's ready to mangle, rip, tear, and destroy any players foolish enough to challenge him. Very nice Foebender. He had a lot of detail for me to paint and bring out. Very nice. Next up, we have the Mind Flayer Woman, or the female accented Mind Flayer. Now, it's interesting to see a Mind Flayer that actually has a female body type, instead of the standard sort of male-ish looking scrawny type. Maybe this female, like with Drow society, is more powerful, or maybe this is what happens when a Drow female, being more powerful than males, is assimilated with the Ceremophus. This would be very interesting, as she also carries a severed head for a nice little bit of flair to this giant sight that she just kind of casually walks with behind her back with no issue. I just love the female sculpt. The dress is slightly like commanding presence, sort of like a Vader style, but she has the leg poking through a nice female, like, I don't know what that term would be, maybe just beckoning? I don't know. But she's pretty cool. I love the tendrils covering up her upper parts to make it so they're not like completely exposed, and she just has a nice sculpt overall. Very nice miniature, and nice to see some changes to some creatures like Mind Flayers that need some more variety, other than like, you know, just going, oh, this Mind Flayer is an illithid, this is not, and you know, not too many options. But very nice nonetheless. Very nice Foebender. I love this miniature's design. Very nice. And now here we get to the miniature that actually made me do this order. That's right, the Dragonborn sort of pinup style female. And she looks great. I gave her those lovely purple accent scale back sort of lines on her back to give her an accentuation of color. She also has some lovely little bronze earpiece or hair pieces on the tendrils of her hair. She's got a lovely little purple flare on top, her lovely horns, and her feet, if you notice there, are not really shoes. She actually has a horn, or a claw growing out of the back of her foot to make a stiletto design, which I thought was interesting. She also has that lovely band there, and she is completely nude. So, dang. And, you know, with my flocking job on her base, it helps bring out the dragon skull or the dragon head statue piece she's sitting on to make her really have a nice presence on the board. Obviously, you could use this for a PC if you truly wished, but man, this is just such a nice character, and it's nice to see that some of these pinups are just really nice. I mean, I've seen the pinup goblins, the pinup orcs, the pinup merfolk, and what was the other one? Dwarves and gnomes, but it's nice to see Dragonfolk getting some love as well in that regard. Very nice Foebender 3D, and do I recommend him to you guys? If you're looking for some really well-printed miniatures, because this guy has gone through the effort to make sure these are printed with high detail, I definitely recommend it. If you have a good paint job you can throw on them, you're going to make them literally shine and become nice pieces of the board that are going to make your players and characters kind of stop and go, what? What is that? That's interesting and different. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I don't know why, but I just do. And that's the great kind of thing you want when you paint your miniatures. You want them to get your players to go, whoa, and give them some attention. So very nice. And Foebender, 2 thumbs up, man. These are lovely miniatures. I will be giving some reviews on his website as well, or his seller page on Etsy. And guys, I do recommend him. So it's really cool. Anyway, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps the channel more than you know. And leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you when you do subscribe, make sure you put the notifications to all. That way you get all the videos I do, whether it's on miniatures, which is one of the main focuses of my channel, or D&D, or if I happen to do any Nerf stuff, or foam blasters, or if I just want to do like a sitting with the bros or something like that, and maybe like in the future, hopefully some live streams of games and things along those lines in the future. But that's all I got for today, guys. Hope to see you next time. Have a great one. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.